Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com, is brought to you by Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. NH Oil Undercoating, the official oil-based rust prevention system. And by RockAuto.com, all the parts your car will ever need.
Welcome back to Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com, where we've got a little junk in the trunk, and that is because we removed our fuel pump from our LeSabre. And John, it wasn't too complicated at first. Got on the Magic Creeper, so we have a little padding there in the trunk, and removed the cover plate, which was easy, and a couple electrical connectors, and then we disconnected a couple quick disconnects from the fuel lines. And then we got a brass punch to make sure there were no sparks. You want to use brass. You don't want sparks around fuel. Knocked off the fuel pump retaining ring. And John, that's where the fight began. Started pulling the fuel pump out. It should pop right out. This one was swollen, and we kind of mangled it on the way out. And this is what's left of it.
You know what? Totally common. You guys are going to run into this every single day. I mean, if this was smell-o-vision, that smells like varnish, not fuel. I don't even think you had to worry about sparks. You couldn't light that with a torch.
It's so gross.
Anyway, you got this one to go in, a nice brand new one from Rock Auto, but I did you one better.
Yep.
Went ahead and got an extra pump. We got our master tech here wired it up for us. We can hit a 12-volt source. You can pump out all that varnish and work your magic, see if you can get it running.
We're going to get to it. Enjoy the smell.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let's talk a little bit about the fuel system and the evolution of fuel systems and fuel pumps. You guys all remember the carburetor, man, about 3 PSI. You had a fuel pump right here, a mechanical fuel pump, and an eccentric on the cam. This is pretty cool. It would just spin around and mechanically pump this and put about 3 PSI in our carburetor with a Venturi effect. Choom, fuel went into the engine. Then we move over to the throttle body. We started to go into fuel injection. Now our throttle body is about 13 PSI. You can see the injectors located right here. The throttle body ran a pump. Now warning, the pumps are pretty similar and they look similar. They're in the tank, they're right here. This one may develop about 13 PSI, but then you run into the injection here on multi-port injection. Well, when you get to multi-port injection, it could be anywhere from 40 to 50 to 60. Usually looks like the same pump, but it's a lot more volume to the pump. So then we went to basically direct injection, man, up to 3, 4,000, 30,000 PSI. Be careful with that. Now, they also have to change the fuel filter. I want to show you a pretty cool demo. Here's a fuel filter right here. Now, this is an old nasty one here. You can see how it's all clogged up and it's not going to work too well. And this is a brand new one. Well, why is that important? Well, it's all about the amp draw, my friends. I got one set up here in a tank right here, and I got it hooked up in series through this meter so I can hook it up. And when I hook it up, you'll run it. Now, we got some odor-free mineral spirits here because Dave stunk us up with that fuel, but don't worry about that. But look at it pumping right here, and you can see the amp draw. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to create a restriction. When I create a restriction, you see the amps start to go up. It's not a good thing. When those amps start to go up, we start to create a mechanical resistance in that pump, and we cause premature failure of the pump. Not a cool thing. So make sure you change the fuel filter as well. Now, you ever wanted to see inside the tank? Well, only at Tech Garage. Here you go. Get a float, goes up, gasoline's full, starts to go down, it goes down. Bam, you can check the resistance on that. Super easy to do as well. Well, all that's left with them, they get the fuel pump in. They do want to change that fuel filter, so let's check in with them and see how it's going.
All right, Josh, what's first?
First thing we need to do is depressurize the fuel system. Now, we disconnected our fuel pump relay, but yours might be slightly different, so make sure you check your service manual first. You definitely want to depressurize the fuel system before you take a fuel filter off. Otherwise, you end up with a face full of gas, and that is not fun.
That is not good. I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure that's not good for you.
First thing I'm going to do is I have a line wrench right here. I'm going to hook it up. And the reason for this line wrench is you don't want to round off the nut that attaches to your fuel line. Go ahead and pop that loose.
Yep, and on the other end, we just have a quick connect here, just like we had up with the fuel pump. So run that up. And you might be asking about this rag, by the way. It's a tip I learned from my buddy John Gardner. This keeps fuel from running all the way down my arm and into my armpit. You are going to thank me for this tip when you do one of these yourself. Here, we'll pull this connector off. We're going to get a little bit of a bath here. Here it comes.
Good. Try to thread mine a little bit more.
All right, there we go.
All right. You want to go ahead and grab that other filter? This one's loose. Go ahead and install that one.
All right, well, here's the new filter we got from RockAuto.com, and we just reverse the process and it goes right in.
Absolutely, let's do it.
All right, stay tuned for more Tech Garage presented by RockAuto.com, and you're going to love the next segment because it's got a lot of flair.